Pleasant good evening to all Dominicans listening at home and abroad. Before I begin, I must give you the latest statistics as regards to our COVID-19 scenario. Total confirmed cases remains at 16. Total active cases remains at 2. Total recovered cases remains at 14. The number of contacts cleared are 152. And the number of persons in government quarantine is 16. For those of you wondering why our quarantine numbers are not decreasing, it's because of the mandatory 2-week quarantine of our COVID-19 isolation staff on completion of their assignments. Our last confirmed case was on the 7th of April, which is 32 days ago. This means we have completed 2 incubation cycles of 2 weeks and are presently in the 3rd cycle without confirming any new case. We must also be aware of the fact that not identifying any new COVID-19 case does not rule out the possibility of undetected community transmission. It is for this very reason that the Ministry of Health, and by extension the Cabinet, as you may have realized, have always functioned with a plan. We have adopted a cautious and planned reopening of the local economy and other sectors in a phased manner. We also recognize the importance of communities being fully educated, engaged, and empowered to function in what now is the new normal. Our decisions as regards to reopening and deconfinement must also be guided by the level of human-to-human contact and the risk of transmission, the socioeconomic relevance, as well as the level of transmission and the capacity of the healthcare to cope with a second wave. Whilst the duration of the Order SRO 15 of 2020 ends on the 11th of May, the government will continue the soft reopening of the local economy, mindful of the need to be cautious. On completion of the 3rd cycle of no new cases, which will be on the 18th of May, further recommendations will be made. Specific guidelines and protocols are being developed based on the type of business activity, all in an effort to empower the population with accurate information, to include hair salons, barbershops, spas, gyms, manicure and pedicure services, details of which will be made available to the stakeholders in the coming week. Complete reopening of schools and churches can only be done if there is firm evidence of the absence of community transmission. This will be done through surveillance activities and serological studies carried out in the community. For this reason, our community study is scheduled to begin on Monday, the 11th, and will be completed within 1 week. Consultations will be held with various tourism stakeholders on the plan for the reopening of the sector. As regards to the opening of borders, this will be done with a regional framework for which discussions at the CARICOM level are already ongoing. However, the government has taken a decision to allow for returning of Dominican nationals who are crew members on the cruise lines in a phased manner. A decision to allow students to return has also been taken. All Dominicans allowed to return home must undergo mandatory quarantine of 14 days at the government quarantine facility in Portsmouth. From Tuesday, the 12th May, law offices, accounted offices, with compliance to the public health and social measures already in place, will be allowed to provide their services to the public. The Ministry of Health also advises that the Emergency Power Order 2020 regarding the curfew be extended for 2 weeks from 12th of May 2020 as follows. Complete lockdown between the hours of 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. Mondays to Friday. Complete lockdown from 6 p.m. on Saturday to 5 a.m. on Monday. As I have said before, relaxing of restrictive measures should only encourage us to continue our public health and social measures. So, we must remain focused and educate those who do not adhere to the preventive measures that have been put in place. When people do not adhere to the guidelines, they also put you and your loved ones at risk. Let me remind business owners and bus drivers who are allowing customers to enter without wearing masks and sanitizing hands that they are at risk of being shut down. I would like us all to make a special effort in being more careful as regards to the unnecessary burning of waste and preventing bushfires, not only from an environmental and air pollution point of view, but also considering the persons with respiratory illnesses, and taking into account that COVID-19 affects the respiratory system. We again extend our deepest gratitude to all our frontline workers. I again express the government's condolence to the government and people of Cuba and to the family of our dear Cuban brother who died earlier this week. We extend thanks to Mr. Ian Edwards of Tranquility Beach Courier, a Hilton collection, for his generous donations of CPAP machines and gift baskets to the frontline workers. We also extend our deepest thanks to Rubis for providing masks to all the frontline workers and the Ministry of Health by extension. We also want to wish all mothers a happy Mother's Day. Stay safe and God bless. I thank you.